Hello, hello. Welcome to the PHNX Bets Daily Podcast presented by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. I'm Johnny Venerable. No Shane today. A much-deserved day off, but we have tapped in, not to the minor leagues, but to the major leagues via a trade. Shawn DePaz. Shawnee, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing, Johnny?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to progress beyond whatever we watched on Sunday with the Suns. Get ready for more basketball and put that game out of our minds, because I feel like yesterday the hangover was still very prevalent in our lives, and until basketball can start up again, I'm not going to get over it.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel stupid now because prior to the playoffs, I was like, this is the number one team in basketball. I don't understand why these Suns fans are so worried about who they play in the matchups. I now see why. I guess I haven't been here long enough to understand the pain, but as a Buffalo Bills fan, you would think I would know. It is what it is. It'll happen eventually. Maybe next year. Maybe 2023 is the year of me, and the Bills and the Phoenix Suns will both win championships.
Listen,
I'm sorry, that'll get in your way a little bit, Johnny, but
if I could sign up right now for a Cardinal Bills Super Bowl and then you just kind of throw ambition, caution to the wind, I would do that.
That's a win-win for me. I'd be happy either way, regardless.
I think I saw the Bills are favored on the DraftKings Sportsbook app to win the AFC. We won't talk about that and their 4 Super Bowl losses. We will talk about other things today via PHNX Bets Daily Podcast. I do want to remind everybody, though, with the NBA playoff action in full nonstop at the DraftKings Sportsbook app, an official sports betting partner of the NBA, this week new customers can bet just $5 on any team to win, get $150 in free bets. If they do, you can kick that off tonight. We're going to help you do so. Looking to turn a small bet into a big payday during the NBA playoffs, you can do same game parlays, create your own parlay by combining multiple bets like which team will win, total threes, total rebounds, and more. And boom, you have a shot at an even bigger payout. Right now, all customers can place the same game parlay with 3 or more legs and get a free bet back up to $25. If the one leg does not hit. It's a call to action. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use that promo code PHNX, but $5, just $5, on any NBA team to win their game. Who are you going to pick? Celtics, Heat tonight. Get $150 in free bets. If they do, I'm going to tell you which one you should pick here momentarily. That's promo code PHNX, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, 21 and over. Arizona only. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. New customer only. Minimum $5 deposit. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for more details. Well, Shawn, yesterday I made a series of MLB picks, and the large portion were wiped out due to a delay. So we're going to carry this Cardinals -1.5 over the Mets in their day one of their doubleheader today. So I'm going to ride that sucker, but I was correct in my thinking that the Yankees would wallop the lonely Baltimore Orioles on the road, and they did 6-2. Anthony Rizzo, nice little showing with a bomb for the Yankees. The Yankees, are you a low key kind of, who, Buffalo native?
I am
who'd you root for?
Boston Red Sox fan.
Oh, I didn't know that about you.
The one thing I love more than the Red Sox is whatever team beats the Yankees. I hate the Yankees, so anytime they see success, it makes me a little sad inside.
Okay. I'm sad for you. But what I will say is that Red Sox seemingly like they'll have a terrible year, and then the next year they win the World Series. The terrible year. You just got to fight through it. The Yankees, I don't even think have double-digit losses yet. Best record in the bigs.
It's fine. They'll do all of this, but then they'll get to the playoffs, and Aaron Boone will forget how to use a bullpen, and they will get eliminated by a team they shouldn't get eliminated by, and then Aaron Boone will still keep his job because the Yankees don't know how to run a franchise anymore.
They don't. He is a little bit of a puppet manager. I don't think their pitching is great. That division, I think, has taken a step back this year. I think Tampa's as good as years prior. You obviously know how bad the Orioles are. Toronto's hit or miss, and then the Red Sox just uncharacteristically horrific start to the season. We'll see if they can bounce back. But the Yankees
won last night. They got bats.
They got bats.
They beat the Astros last night, and the Astros are the best team in the AL West. So
Xander Bogaerts, he can get traded here pretty soon.
Stop it, please, God, no.
He might get traded. No. He might get traded. We'll see. We'll have wagers on that.
They need to pay that man all of the money.
He is 28 for a bad team. We'll see. We'll see if they deal him at the trade deadline. You probably have odds on that via DraftKings. So we're going to keep the cards and my props rolling from yesterday. Yeah, here's my prop. Nolan Arenado over under 1 home run today in the first game of their doubleheader at plus 320. And then I do not think we will see any runs in the form of Miles Mikolas on the mound for the Cardinals today. He's got one of the better ERAs in the National League, sub 2 against a Mets team, usually pretty stingy at home. So again, doubleheader today. Take the Cardinals and the under in the first game. Second game, Matz is on the mound against his former team that was not pretty when they faced off at Busch Stadium earlier this year, Steven Matz. So that's my tease, a little bit of an MLB tease, Shawn. But what do you got going on for the NBA tonight? Because that's what the people want to talk about. That's what they want to see.
I know, like you said you're going to give the people who you thought was going to win the Celtics game. I firmly believe this is the Celtics series to lose. So I'm taking the Celtics money line at plus money. I just think the value is there when the spread is only 1.5.
Yeah.
And then Boston at Miami under 204. Really low over under total, but these are two. I mean, Boston is the best defensive team in the playoffs. Miami is like right behind them, I think. They have played like obviously a few times this year. The first time they played, the score was 95-78,
gross.
Below that. Yeah. The teams are averaging. Hold on, let me look at my stats here. The Celtics are giving up 97.5 points per game in these playoffs. The Heat are giving up 101.8 points per game in these playoffs. That equals, or that is close to 204. It's under 204. I think we might end up seeing an over-under total below 200 at some point in this series, which would be pretty wild for the NBA.
I do too. I think that's definitely possible.
I think in this first game, again, no Kyle Lowry for the Heat. I just think it's going to be like a really, really strong defensive game. I think it's going to be a good game. I think the series is going to be terrific. But I just don't think we're going to see a whole lot of offense. I think we're going to see some of the best defense we've seen in a long time in the playoffs. So yeah, I just really like the under in this game.
I would like to see a healthy Kyle Lowry because I don't like Miami at all without him. I don't like this Miami team in general. If you've been watching this programming for some time, I'm a Jason Tatum fan, native of St. Louis. I can appreciate that. And he's been on fire. If he hits from 3, it's going to be a series that I think he's going to dominate. But I do worry that they're a little overly dependent on he and Jaylen Brown to score. Al Horford didn't have a great end to that series against Milwaukee. And then we're going to see about the health of Marcus Smart. I'm with you, though. I'm riding with the Celtics tonight. I'm going to ride with them moving forward because I felt for some time they were the best team in the Eastern Conference. Let's check out my picks for today. We've got one. As Shawn said, you can take the Celtics +2, or you can play a little safe and go with the money line, give you a little bit of margin for error there. But Celtics plus money tonight, I love that. Miami's home court, listen, it's kind of a joke. They're fans, we know. They're a little bit fair weather. They can sneak out of the building if the game gets lopsided. So if the Celtics are able to put it on early, this is the kind of environment where they can cruise to a victory. I think all they have to do is split in these first 2 games in Miami. And they'll wrap up this series. And I think I'm going to say 6. I'll go ahead and say 6.
Yeah.
But do you have a prop for us tonight, Mr. Shawn?
I do. Well, it's related to this.
Okay.
It's Boston to beat Golden State in the finals at +3.
I like that a lot.
I think Boston is the best team left in these playoffs. They're the best defensive team left in these playoffs. And I don't think Golden State, or I don't think Dallas has anything for Golden State. I know you'll talk about that tomorrow, but Dallas.
Shane thinks that Dallas is going to make it a series. I think he's out of his mind.
I think he's out of his mind too. Dallas is not that. The Suns were so bad in this playoffs. In this series,
talk about it.
They were
throw up in my head.
Terrible. They looked like they didn't even deserve to be in the playoffs. I think
they almost lost to the Pelicans. I
think that is much more a product of who the Suns are and not who the Dallas Mavericks are. I think Luka Doncic is not going to be able to carry this team to a finals against a team that has done this over and over and over again. I can see Draymond Green getting in Luka's head. I just think they're going to expose him.
Jason Kidd versus Steve Kerr. Get the hell out of here.
I think and that's another thing. Steve Kerr missed 3 games last series. I don't think that series is as competitive as it is if he is there the entire time.
The Golden State Warriors were playing with house money in that series. They got up on a lead big time. They won those first 2 games, and then they were in cruise control. The sense of urgency, they had none because they knew they were going to wrap up that series, especially when John Morant went out. I think Luka will get his. We'll talk about it tomorrow. He'll have hollowed stats just like he did in the first 2 games against the Suns. Then whatever the hell happened to the Phoenix Suns, that's not going to happen to a team led by Steph Curry. With all due respect to Devin Booker and company.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at part of why the Mavs beat the Suns. It was the 3-point shooting. You know what the Warriors are pretty good at? Shooting the 3 ball. Like, especially if you get the version of Clay you got the other night where he was going crazy. Like, if you get even a smidgen of old Clay and Curry does what he's fully capable of doing, and Draymond plays good defense, that's going to be a really hard team to beat. Unless you're the Boston Celtics. Like I said, I think the Celtics win this series. If Golden State swept Dallas, wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think once you get to that final, Celtics Warriors, that Celtics defense is going to be tough for an old Warriors team.
We are so like-minded. It's crazy. That's probably why we're not on the show together enough, because it wouldn't really be a good program every day. We would agree with each other.
Wait till you get to your prop. I have something for you.
Okay. All right. Well, let's check out my prop here via PHNX Bets Daily Tuesday Tasties. Jason Tatum was raining hot fire in that pivotal Game 7. Listen, 6+ threes at 380. He had 5 the other night. He can keep this rolling against Miami tonight, whose perimeter defense is good. But I mean, you don't like it? You don't like what I got going on? Okay.
I was going to honestly take, but it's kind of ugly, and I think points unders are for cowards. I was going to take Tatum's under on points.
What's his over-under on total points, then?
I believe it is 27.5. Something around there.
Yeah, because his average is like 26.
Yeah. Not only that, I just talked about, the Heat defense is really good. These two teams do not score a lot of points, especially when they play each other. And he's only averaging 17 points, a little over 17 points a game against Miami this year. When Bam is playing. Bam, I think, is going to keep him low scoring. He's going to have to contribute in other ways. And I just think 6 threes is just going to be
asking a lot. And Jaylen Brown's been his Robin this entire postseason. I mean, he's been much better than I ever thought he could be. And he's a huge reason why they got to this point. I'm gonna ride him until
at that value. I like it.
Yeah. But anything reaching plus 400. And I think Jaylen Brown had similar statistics for maybe even double that. I think Jaylen Brown was, if you could get him 5 or 6 plus threes at maybe plus 600. So if that's something you feel like, if he's going to be the default option, if Tatum's locked up, then you might want to sprinkle some money on that.
And to be fair, like I can see a Jason Tatum becoming a top 5 player in the NBA, winning a Finals MVP timeline in these playoffs. So I could be completely off base here. Maybe he's just going to hit another level and just go nuclear on the Heat. But I just think, based on the information that I have so far, I need to see a game or two of this series before.
I don't buy Miami at all getting back to the finals. I just think that one bubble finals run was an albatross. It was a flash in the pan, and I don't take them seriously. And Derek Spoelstra's too good a coach. I get that, but they don't have enough. They remind me of those Detroit Pistons teams that would get to the championship game and the finals without like a perennial superstar, even though Jimmy Butler is very good. But I just don't think you can win a championship that way anymore.
Yeah, I think if they get to the finals, it's in 7 games and it's just 7 straight grimy, sub 210 games. Like, it's going to be a lot of them kind of sneaking it out. Jimmy Butler, I think we're going to have to go full exhausted Jimmy Butler, bending over on the scorer's table again. Like, I think Jimmy Butler's going to have to play out of his mind to get them there.
They're asking way too much of him. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think the last thing I want to see is a Dallas finals versus an exhausted Miami Heat team, because if Luka wins an NBA championship, I will never watch basketball again.
They're not beating Golden State.
No, I don't think they are, but
what can you get on DraftKings right now? I'd be interested to see Golden State sweeping Dallas, because I could definitely see that happening. I could 4 or 5 game series in favor of Golden State is something I would absolutely consider betting. And we'll talk more about that tomorrow. We'll give our official predictions for that series. But just as a teaser here, What do you think that is? Plus 400? Plus 500? A sweep is probably plus 450, 500.
Let's see. The Golden State Warriors to win by sweep is 700 plus 700.
Man,
yeah.
The Phoenix Suns should have swept that series against the Mavericks. I know that's crazy to say because they lost in such horrific fashion.
Yeah,
those first 2 games were not competitive.
No,
that's who the Suns were at their best.
Yeah, I don't. Maybe this team is just has. Maybe the Suns team just has a problem with getting ahead early, and then they're just like they don't know how to stay focused. I don't know. Maybe that's a Chris Paul thing, and it just kind of trickled down to the rest of the team.
The Warriors were so good at the end of the regular season when they took all that time off to get everybody healthy, and then they played like the last 10 to 14 days with their hair on fire to be right before the playoffs, and they were murdering everyone.
Yeah.
So I feel like this series they're going to do that.
I agree. And if we see what we saw early in the playoffs with Jordan Poole, and he's their 4th best player,
the
Mavericks don't stand a chance. And
I built myself up to want to watch Suns Warriors and all the pivotal matchups, and now it's just wasted on Luka. Now individual performances, that's the barometer. And I got to talk about all the shitty role players for the Mavericks. I hate it, Shawn.
Yeah, and if you want to talk about like the refs or who the NBA favors in this, it's not Luka. Steph Curry is their darling.
They desperately want the Warriors back in the finals, even though Dallas is a huge market.
Especially, do you think the NBA gives a shit about Dallas being in the NBA finals when they can have Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors against the Boston Celtics? Please.
We know where this is headed. Some good comments here. Jose should have swept. Exactly. Thanks a lot, son. Carry on. I mean, how can you not watch those first 2 games? Again, I'll go back to those. I know teams lose historically after being up 2-0. It's happened many times. Happened to the Suns last year in the finals. Yep. Those games were not competitive. You turn those games off. They were complete non-factors. And then for the Suns, I need to get past Sunday night. We need to get basketball on the TV tonight. Shawn, do you have another prop?
No, that's it.
That's it.
I mean, if you want to throw the Tatum under on points in there, but I don't want to fade you that hard.
Don't do it. But what you should do is subscribe, leave this podcast a 5-star review, head on over to gophnx.com, become a member, 50 cents for the first month, $8.99 for the subsequent months. Get this fresh hat right here, this lid, rock it all summer. It's going to be the hat of the Valley this summer, the PHNX merchandise locker. We're going to be back tomorrow. I think Shane is back tomorrow.
I believe so.
He and his Maverick fans here in the chat are going to go nuts here for game 1. And I will tell everybody, I will double down and say that the Golden State Warriors are plus 700 to sweep the Dallas Mavericks. That's a teaser for tomorrow.
I'm going to go throw a few bucks on that.
You should. Everybody should. But first things first, make sure to follow us, PHNX_bets. We're back tomorrow. See you guys.